Hi, thank you so much for joining us. We're all together here again, and we would love if you would join us in prayer. God, we give thanks for this opportunity to be together, to share our words, our thoughts, and to see them reaching and touching anyone and everyone who needs to hear these words today. God, we are so grateful to know you, to serve you, to be you. Amen.
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 So I have a topic back in Lessons in Truth by Cady. And again, I'm just so amazed that every time I open this book, I find something that just really strikes my heart and helps my life. I'm going to read a little bit out of the 10th lesson, Spiritual Gifts. And if you're reading with me, I'm going to be on the third point, number 3. It is in the heart of even the most depraved human being, though he would not know for worlds or have others know it, an instinctive feeling that somewhere there is a power that is able to give him just what he wants. If he could only reach that which is to him his conception of God, he could prevail on him to grant the things desired. This feeling is itself God-given. It is the divine self, though only a spark at the center of a man's being need be there to suggest to him the true remedy for all his ills. I love that. And it really reminds me of how hard it was for me to accept, let go, allow the presence that is in God to be a part of my life. There was a time in my life where I felt like if I agreed to accept that God is real, that would be like me saying, okay, I'll go to hell, because those were a part of my beliefs. But there was never really a time that I did not know God is. There was a time when I did not want to know that God is. And for me, it was a matter of removing the blocks that I had put up between me and my spiritual growth. And they came crashing down. I mean, it was kind of a big deal. I was stubborn as long as I could be stubborn until no matter what, I just couldn't do it anymore. And when I'm reading this book about the spiritual gifts, and I'm reminded that God is that voice that says, I am, that we can choose not to hear or we can choose to hear, but it's an integral part of our spirit, of our being, the I am that is God. I remember being a little girl, and I honestly believed I could summon the wind. I felt like God touched me in the wind. Every time I felt a breeze, I felt that that was God telling me, wherever you are, I am. And I honestly believed that when I needed God, I could call the wind. I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's not the windy city. And even that slight breeze was such a blessing, was such a gift. So from a young age, whether I wanted to know it or not, I did know that God is a part of every part of me. So my question is, does that bring up something for you? And would you share your growing awareness of that innate knowing whenever it started?
I'll share. I don't think I consciously would have voiced it, but at a young age, I would go in the backyard and I would swing and sing. And that was one of my mother's first comments that she remembered of me, was sitting and swinging and singing. and I still love to sing. And I still, if I find a park, I will stop and swing. It's freeing. It's carefree. It's like floating in air. And I think that was one of the ways as at a young age that I connected with Source. And I think later, because I grew up in a Catholic school, and they always had me sing in the choir. And I didn't realize it then because nobody ever said, you have a good voice. But I think that I love to do it. So that was God expressing through me. And I love the rituals in the church. And it was just a joyous time, swinging, singing, and it felt good. And to me, that was God. God was always present in my life. And holy cards. Oh, they were just beautiful. And the angels. Oh, yes, I love the angels and still do. I mean, I have Archangel Michael and Samuel up there. Um, so I know there's a presence that loves me and supports me, whether it's through music, through the swinging, through the angels, through your breeze, the breeze, yes, nature, that God is always present with me. Can't say I can put a date that I knew, but I know that I know. So thank you for letting me share.
I'll share. I was raised in the Episcopal Church, and I loved the formality of the cross and the prayers, kneeling. I used to almost pass out because we kneeled for so long. So I didn't like that part. But then I got invited into the choir as a young girl. And oh, I loved my choir robe. And there was just something when I was up there by the altar with the choir, and it was a children's choir. I just felt this connection, like my father is holding me. It stays with me when I'm feeling low or scared. I just get that feeling like my father's wrapping his arms around me with the big robe, and you're safe. And I think that it started from being in church and the rituals, the candles, the choir walking down as they're singing, and the pastor in his robe. I loved all of that. And to me, it felt like just a safe place to be. And I couldn't really explain it. But now that I look back on it, I'm so grateful that I had that experience as a child to think back on.
I don't know that I remember that I knew that I knew. I knew some things, and I knew I was different, and I didn't know what was going on. The God wasn't really presented in a favorable way when I was a child. So I did know that I had a fascination with crosses early on, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I had, from the church that we attended when I was a child, that was more seen as a sin than anything else, because the cross was the crucifixion. And to me, it never meant that, still does not mean the crucifixion. I always see the piece in the middle of the cross as where heaven meets earth. That's what it means to me, is where heaven meets earth, and that's where I am. And so I have a collection of them. I love them. They're at our other house. But when I was 15, one of my neighbors, my mother's friends, had bought me for my birthday a necklace with a cross on it, and I just idolized it. And I knew that there was something going on in me, but I didn't know what it was. And then when I got to the point in my life where I had to let go and let God, because I needed a big change in my life, because I was not headed in a positive direction. That was scary for me, because to that point I had survived by trying to have some kind of control. And letting go and letting God, even though it was someone that was supposed to be there for me all the people that were supposed to be there for me up until then had not served the process well, you know what I mean? So it didn't give them a lot of credit, leading up to that. So when I finally was able to crack that heart open and say, okay, God, I'm going to do this and I'm going to put my faith in you, I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. I felt like, I was in tears. I was in tears because I didn't know how I could have held on that long and just tried to make it through. And at the same point, I realized right then and there that I had never had to make it through by myself. I wasn't by myself. And all those times I thought I was keeping control and I thought I was looking after me and I was the one taking care of me, God was with me the whole time. And that's when I kind of got the message that, yeah, okay, you needed to learn what you needed to learn. That's why we had that relationship, but this is the relationship we have now. And it's a whole lot different. It's amazing. And I'm grateful for that understanding now. So that's what I have to share.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
I'll be glad to pray us out. Okay, join me, please. Let's take a few deep breaths. Oh, after this beautiful conversation, we know in our bones, God is present right here, right now, and has always been present with us. And we've received gifts, huge gifts of love and light from this loving source as we awaken more and more each day to the presence of God deeper and deeper in our hearts. And I say thank you. Thank you for that continued abundance of great love, of great light, more clarity, high consciousness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen.
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 Thanks for joining us, everybody. We're so glad you're here. Please share this video with your friends. Subscribe so you'll stay up to date with us. Leave comments. Tell us if you want to join us. Tell us if you have topics. We love to hear your comments and we'd love for you to join us. So you have a blessed day and listen for God in your life. So we'll see you later. Bye.
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 Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.